You wake up when your body is ready, cold, and hungry. No alarm, no schedule. It's 15,000 years ago, and you're a hunter-gatherer. Your entire world is maybe 50 square miles of forest and river. Every single day is survival. Your small band of 20 people depends on you. You hunt and you gather. This territory is life itself. But other groups are out there, a constant, threatening presence on the edges of your land. You can feel their eyes on your resources, on your water, on your future. So you're there, and the water is low. The stream you've relied on for generations is just a trickle. A day's walk away, you find a spring still flowing strong. But you're not the first to arrive. Another band is already there, 20, maybe 30 people. Their faces are unfamiliar, their language a harsh murmur. They've stripped the berry bushes clean. Their hunters guard the approach. This isn't a border dispute. It's a calculation. Your children are thirsty back at camp. Your stores are empty. That water means survival for the next week. That hunting ground means life, or slow starvation. There are no diplomats here, no treaties. Just two groups of hungry, desperate people standing between each other and another sunrise. Tension is a physical weight in the air. It's in the tight grip on a spear shaft, the way eyes dart from their weapons to your own. A single gesture, a sudden movement, can be the spark. One person steps forward, a rock is thrown, a shout cuts the silence, and it erupts. The violence is fast, brutal, and shockingly personal. It's not about conquest or honor. It's about securing the next meal, protecting the few precious calories that keep your band alive. You fight not for glory, but for the right to drink from that spring tomorrow. The cost is immediate. A shattered arm, a deep gash, a life ended in the mud. And when it's over, the survivors take what they came for, leaving the quiet forest to absorb what just happened. So imagine the first weapon. It wasn't a sword. It was a spear, used for days, maybe years, to bring down deer and boar. Its point, hardened in fire, knew the anatomy of survival. Now it finds a new target, a man. The hunting tool becomes the weapon of war. Ambush is everything. There are no banners, no declarations, just sudden movement from behind a tree, a rock, a thicket. A thrown stone strikes a temple. An axe, just a sharpened stone lashed to wood, comes down in a short, brutal arc. A heavy club, swung with both hands, shatters bone. There is no parrying, no elegant duel. Combat is a collision, a desperate scrum in the dirt. It is close enough to smell the other's breath, to see the shock in their eyes. It is terrifyingly fast. 5 seconds. 10. That's all it takes. The spear thrusts. The club swings, the axe chops. It is work. Brutal, efficient work. The tools are simple, but the wounds are catastrophic. A punctured lung, a crushed skull, a severed artery. The victor isn't a soldier. He is a hunter who has made the most dangerous kill of his life. He stands over his work, breathing hard, the familiar tool now foreign, heavy with a new kind of blood. Then he retrieves his spear from the body. He wipes the edge clean on the grass. The tool is ready again, for the next hunt, or the next man. Now imagine the fight itself. There is no clean battlefield. It is a chaotic scramble in the mud and brush. The air is thick with screams, the coppery smell of blood, and the frantic grunts of terrified men. This is not about honor or strategy. It is pure survival, driven by a flood of fear and adrenaline that narrows the world to a single, terrible goal: kill the other man before he kills you. There are no rules of engagement. A sharpened antler becomes a dagger. A heavy river stone is a club. Fingernails and teeth are weapons of last resort. The objective is simple: kill the rival, or drive his band far away from your camp, your water source, your children. The psychology is primal. It is about removing a threat completely. A wounded enemy might return. A dead one cannot. The aftermath is often more brutal than the clash. For the defeated, a quick death might be a mercy. Survivors are frequently mutilated, their injuries a bloody message to any who would follow. Hands are smashed to prevent future spear throws. Skulls are crushed. Some are taken, dragged back to the victor's camp not as prisoners of war, but as resources. They are kept alive, perhaps for a season, to be used for labor or information. Or they become a lesson, a sacrifice to the spirits before the next hunt. Or the next conflict. The cycle resets with the rising sun, the memory of the fight etched in fresh scars and dwindling numbers. Every dawn brings the same calculation: protect the kin, secure the food, survive another day. The price of failure is the end of your bloodline, erased from the earth without a trace. Victory means a moment to breathe. The immediate threat is gone. Your band gathers the spoils: flint tools, perhaps a dozen high-quality blades, animal hides, maybe 3 or 4, taken from their shelters. Most precious is food, a cache of dried meat, roots from their territory, a supply that might last your group 10 days. You have secured the water source, the cave, the hunting ground. For now, your children will eat. Safety is a temporary, tangible thing. Loss is absolute. If you are not killed in the fight, your fate is often worse. The survivors, perhaps 5 or 6 of you, are dragged away. You become property. You are forced to labor, to process game, to gather under watch. Your knowledge of your old lands is now their advantage. Starvation stalks those who escaped. Your band fractured, its knowledge of berry patches and migration routes lost with the fallen. There is no forgetting. The memory of a brother's death, of a child taken, does not fade with the seasons. It becomes a story told by the fire, a name repeated with a vow. This is not mere grief. It is a seed. It grows into a vendetta, a debt of blood that must be paid. Your grandson will know the story. Their grandson will remember the retaliation. The conflict is no longer about a single spring or a stand of nut trees. It is about ghosts. It is about honor. The cycle is now longer than a single life. It is woven into the fabric of the clan itself, a dark inheritance passed down with the flint and the fire. Survival is no longer just about the next season. It is about settling a score that began before you were born. So, what are we left with? The honest conclusion is this: prehistoric war was not warfare as we know it. It was not vast armies clashing over borders or ideology. It was a grim, recurring feature of a life already consumed by survival. The violence was small-scale, often involving just a few dozen individuals, but it was brutally intimate and shockingly lethal. Archeological evidence from sites like Jebel Sahaba in Sudan, dating back over 13,000 years, tells a stark story. There, over 40% of the skeletons show signs of violent trauma. Arrowheads lodged in bone, skulls crushed by blunt force. This was not a one-time catastrophe. It was a pattern, a cycle. The conflict was likely driven by the most basic human pressures: competition for fertile valleys, control of a crucial water source, revenge for a previous raid. It was about resources you could see and touch, and once a feud began, it could span generations. Survival became about settling a score that began before you were born. The scale may have been limited, but the impact was absolute. In a world of maybe just a few hundred people in your entire known universe, the loss of even 10 hunters was a demographic catastrophe. It could cripple a community for a generation. So we arrive at a difficult truth. Before empires, before kings, before any written word, humans fought. Not constantly, but commonly. Not in organized campaigns, but in sudden, brutal eruptions of violence that shaped the very course of prehistory. It was a shadow that followed the first light of human society, a dark thread woven into the story of our survival from the very start.